Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to tell you the true story of a boy who thought he had time. A boy who was not poor, not broken, not unlucky. But still, he lost everything because he didn't know the value of time. This is not a story about motivation. This is a story about real life, real regret, and a reality millions of people are living right now without even realizing it. He didn't lose his life in one moment. He lost it one lazy hour at a time. While others were building, he was waiting. While others were learning, he was doubting. While others were changing, he was just thinking about it. And by the time he woke up, something inside him was already gone. This story is not finished yet, but it begins in a small town, in a small room, with a young boy full of potential, and no idea how dangerous time can be. This story will change how you see time. It's emotional, powerful, and great for your English too. So listen carefully and make sure to subscribe to our channel. Let's begin. Part 1. The Years That Disappeared Silently. My name is Ethan, and I didn't lose my life because of failure. I lost it because I didn't care about time. When I was 20, I wasn't struggling. I had a roof over my head. I had food. My parents weren't rich, but they supported me. I didn't have a bad life. But I had no fire. I had a phone. I had internet. I had dreams. But I didn't have direction. I remember the kind of days I used to live. Wake up at 10, look at the phone, scroll for 1 hour, get up, eat slowly, sit in the same room all day. Tell myself, I'll do something productive today. Then watch some YouTube, open Instagram, get lost in a world that made me feel inspired for 5 minutes, and then empty for the rest of the day. By evening, I'd tell myself, it's okay, tomorrow I'll start for real. And then tomorrow, I would repeat the exact same day. No one questioned me, because I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't getting into trouble. I wasn't failing exams. I wasn't depressed or sick or out of control. I was just living casually. But that casual life was killing me slowly. People around me thought I was fine. But inside me, a voice was screaming, screaming for more, for meaning, for action. But I didn't listen, because it was easier to distract myself than to confront myself. I didn't even know I was wasting time, because my life looked normal. Wake up, scroll, eat, chill, talk, sleep. Everyone else was doing the same. But one thing was different. They were planning for the future. I was just existing in the present. At 21, one of my school friends got a job in the city. Another started working for a startup. Another began posting fitness videos and started gaining followers. I remember thinking, good for them. I'll start something too. But right now, I just want to relax and enjoy my life. That relaxing phase turned into 6 months, then a year, then 3 years. Every time I thought of doing something, starting photography, freelancing, applying for internships, I would feel excited for 10 minutes and then talk myself out of it. I'd say, it's not the right time. I'm not ready yet. I'll do it when I have more energy. I just need one perfect plan. So I waited, and waited, and waited. But time wasn't waiting with me. I wasn't completely lazy. In fact, I had a very busy mind. I thought all day. I imagined big goals. I dreamed of success. I thought of what I'd say in interviews. I pictured myself being respected, earning well, helping my parents. But none of that was real, because I was only living in my imagination. I didn't take action. I didn't move. I didn't finish anything I started. I was addicted to planning, addicted to thinking, addicted to tomorrow. But life only rewards doers, not dreamers, and I was just a dreamer sitting in his room. By 24, my cousin got promoted in a big company. My childhood friend bought a car. One of my college mates moved abroad. Even the boys I used to think were wasting time were now earning, building, and growing. And me? Still waking up at 10. Still scrolling. Still stuck. Still telling myself, it's not too late. But I wasn't just behind. I was becoming irrelevant. People stopped asking me what I was doing, because they already knew the answer. Nothing. And every time I looked in the mirror, I started to hate the person I saw. Not because of how I looked, but because I knew the truth. I was wasting everything I had. But the real pain hadn't come yet. I hadn't failed yet. Because I hadn't tried yet. But what I didn't know was that failure comes quietly. It comes when you don't respect time. It comes when you don't show up. It comes when you live like the clock doesn't matter. And mine was coming fast. Part 2. The day that broke me. I was 28, still living in the same room, still using the same excuses, still telling myself, it's not too late. But deep down, I was starting to feel it. The pressure, the silent weight of time, the kind that doesn't scream, but slowly tightens around your neck every time you open social media, see someone younger than you doing more, being more, living more. I had no job, no money, no identity, only an old dream of becoming a photographer, and a phone full of apps stealing my focus. But I didn't want to admit it, because to admit it meant accepting that I had wasted 8 years. So I lied to myself every day. I just need a little more motivation. I'll start next Monday. I'm different. My time will come. And then one day the world hit me in the face, harder than ever before. It was a normal evening. I was lying on my bed, scrolling reels like always, laughing at things that didn't matter, wasting another hour that would never come back. And then my phone rang. It was an old friend, Daniel. We hadn't spoken in a while. I hadn't spoken to anyone in a while. Because when your life's not moving, you start avoiding people who are moving. I picked up the call, trying to sound normal, but his energy was different. He was excited. He said, "Bro, I'm getting married. And guess what? I want you to do the wedding shoot. You used to be into photography, right? I've seen your old pictures. You were good." For a moment, I smiled. Finally, someone remembered my dream. Finally, someone believed in me. But then, I froze. Because I hadn't touched my camera in 2 years. I hadn't practiced. I hadn't improved. I hadn't learned a single new skill. My dream was still in my head. But my hands were empty. I had nothing to offer. So I lied again. I told him, "Bro, I'm not doing photography anymore. I left it. I'm doing something else now." He said, "Oh, okay, no problem. I'll ask someone else. Let's still meet at the wedding." We hung up, and then I just sat there, staring at the wall. The laughter stopped. The screen went black. The silence in my room became unbearable. That was the moment. The moment I realized time had moved on. But I hadn't. I sat on the floor, back against the wall, and I cried. Not because of the phone call, but because I saw the truth. All of it. For the first time. I saw the entire timeline of my 20s. All those empty days. All those excuses. All those tomorrows. All those hours I gave to YouTube, Netflix, Reels, group chats, and meaningless conversations. All the mornings I said 5 more minutes. All the weeks I promised myself I'd start again. All the times I said, I'll become something great. But I never became anything, because I never started. I was 28, with no money, no job, no brand, no skills, no confidence, just dust. Dust made of broken dreams and forgotten time. That night I went to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. Really looked. And I didn't recognize the person standing there. Dark circles, no glow, eyes tired, shoulders weak, mind empty. This wasn't the boy who once said, I want to travel the world and tell stories through my camera. This wasn't the boy who had fire in his heart. This was a boy who betrayed himself. Do you know what hurts more than failure? The pain of knowing. You never even tried. The pain of realizing you were the reason your life didn't move. The pain of knowing you were given time, health, support, and you burned it all for comfort. That pain is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. It eats you from inside. It makes you hate yourself in moments when no one's watching. It doesn't come from outside. It comes when you realize you are the thief of your own future. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of fear, but because of regret. A regret so heavy. It felt like someone had put the last 8 years of my life on my chest, and I couldn't breathe. The next morning, I took out my old camera. It was dusty. The battery was dead. The memory card still had pictures from years ago, the last time I truly tried to build something. I looked at those pictures, and I broke down, because they were good. Not perfect, but good. I could have made something out of this. I could have learned, practiced, failed, improved. I could have built a name, a channel, a business. But I didn't, because every time I got the idea to start, I said, later. And now, later had turned into never. My parents still supported me, but now I could see the sadness in their eyes. They didn't say it directly, but I could feel it. They had hoped I would do something, that one day I would wake up, that one day I would take charge, but I hadn't. And now, I was not just disappointing them, I was disappointing myself. That was the night I collapsed. Not physically, not financially, but emotionally, because that's when I realized the real damage had already been done. And I did it with my own hands. You know what happens when you cry in front of a mirror? You don't feel dramatic. You feel exposed. That night, I stood in front of my mirror, 28 years old, and I couldn't lie anymore. I couldn't hide behind motivation videos. I couldn't pretend I was figuring things out. I couldn't blame the world, my parents, my college, or my circumstances. I had to face one terrifying truth. I was the one who destroyed my life. And I still remember the exact words I whispered to myself that night. If I don't start now, I will die this way. The next morning, I didn't touch my phone. I didn't scroll. I didn't play music. I didn't speak to anyone. I just sat on my bed in silence. For the first time in years, I was listening to myself. No more lies, no more fake productivity, no more empty promises like, I'll start next week. I said to myself, I'm not chasing success anymore. I'm chasing discipline. I'm going to do boring things, small things, consistent things. I'm going to earn back my self-respect. I made one rule. Do something real for 7 days, no matter what. Day 1. I woke up at 6:30 a.m. It felt like war. My body hated it. My mind resisted. But I forced myself to sit with a notebook and write 3 things. What am I feeling? What did I waste time on yesterday? What's one small thing I can do today? That day, I cleaned my room. Not because it was messy, but because it was a symbol of the chaos inside me. By evening, I felt tired, but for the first time, I also felt in control. Day 2. I watched 3 beginner photography tutorials on YouTube. Not motivational speeches, just pure skill, pure knowledge, no dopamine, just learning. Day 3. I went outside with my old camera. The lens was cracked, the battery was weak, but I took 100 photos of strangers, flowers, buildings, anything. It felt awkward. I felt embarrassed. But when I came home and saw the photos, I cried again, because there was still something alive in me. Day 4. I made an Instagram page. No profile picture, no bio, no followers. I uploaded 1 photo, just 1. I didn't care who liked it. This time, I wasn't posting for likes. I was posting for discipline. Days 5 to 7. I repeated. Wake up, no phone for 2 hours. Write, walk, shoot, edit, upload, learn. No results, no feedback, no success. Just quiet rebuilding. No one clapped for me. No one supported me. My friends didn't notice. My family thought I was experimenting again. But I didn't need noise. I needed silence. Because silence is where discipline is born. I started falling in love with routines. Drinking water first thing in the morning. Taking cold showers. Reading 1 photography blog a day. Studying basic business ideas. Practicing editing for 30 minutes every evening. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't Instagram-worthy. But it was real. And for the first time in years, I was proud of myself. Let me be honest. Just because I started again doesn't mean I felt good. The guilt was still there. The regret still burned. Every time I looked at someone younger doing more, I felt like a loser. Every time I saw my cousins with cars, jobs, families, I felt like a child. But here's what I told myself. Yes, you're behind. Yes, you wasted time. But every second you waste now, that's a crime against your future self. So I kept going. I didn't just learn photography. I studied. How to price your skills, how to speak to clients, how to edit faster, how to write captions that connect, how to make people trust your work, how to turn time into results. I used free resources, free PDFs, free YouTube channels. I didn't complain about not having money for a course. Because when you've wasted 10 years, you don't get to complain. You just learn quietly. At age 29, I got my first paid client. It was a birthday shoot for a toddler. I charged $30 for the entire event. I spent 10 hours editing those photos. Not because I had to, but because it mattered to me. When they paid me, I didn't feel like a photographer. I felt like I had just won back a piece of my identity. And I used that money to buy a new lens. No party, no pizza, no celebration, just reinvestment. That became my rule. Earn, reinvest, repeat. I wasn't successful yet. I wasn't confident yet. I wasn't even close to catching up. But I had started. And starting was everything, because time had taken so much from me. But now, I was taking my time back. Part 3. The rise that nobody saw. I was still behind. Behind in age, behind in money, behind in success. But for the first time in my life, I was ahead of who I used to be. I had a camera, a cracked lens, a cheap tripod, no car, no studio, no followers. But I had something I never had before. Momentum. That momentum came from silence. No one was clapping. No one was sharing my work. No one was calling me a rising star. I was just a man with a camera and a war inside his chest. A war against the person I used to be. And that war was my fuel. I kept posting photos, 1 post per day, every day, no matter what. I didn't care about likes. I didn't care about going viral. I didn't use trending sounds or hashtags. I focused on connection. I shared a story behind each photo. Sometimes it was a struggle, sometimes a memory, sometimes a lesson. And slowly, people started noticing. One comment turned into 10. One follower turned into 50. A stranger messaged me, "Your page feels different. I come here to feel something real." That one message meant more than 1,000 likes because it confirmed something. People don't follow talent. They follow truth. And for the first time in my life, I was living truthfully. At 30, I applied to do photography for a small travel agency. They were looking for someone to capture backpacker journeys. I sent my portfolio, my story, everything. They replied, "Sorry, we're looking for someone younger with more experience." It crushed me. Younger, I wasted my 20s. And now the world was telling me I was too late. I remember sitting with my camera on my lap thinking, "You did this, you delayed, and now the world has moved on." But instead of quitting, I made a new rule. Rejection is proof that you're trying. Keep trying. I renamed my page, Time You Lost, and I started sharing not just photos, but pieces of my journey. Every photo had a caption like, "Don't wait until you're ready. I wasted 10 years doing that." Start ugly, start scared, but start. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm far from who I was. This photo isn't perfect, but neither am I, and that's okay. Something strange happened. People began messaging me privately. "I'm 26 and feel lost too. I thought I was the only one who wasted years. Thank you for reminding me it's not too late." And slowly, my page turned into a community of people who were trying to come back from their own rock bottom. I wasn't famous, I wasn't rich, but I was useful. And for the first time, that was enough. One day, a small mental health nonprofit reached out. They said, "We love how you use photography to tell emotional stories. Would you shoot our next awareness campaign?" I didn't ask about payment. I didn't try to sound professional. I just said, yes, I'd be honored. That project changed everything. Not because it made me money, but because it gave me meaning. I photographed people who had survived depression, anxiety, addiction, and turned their pain into strength. I saw myself in their eyes, and they saw themselves in mine. The campaign went live. The response was massive. People cried, shared, wrote essays about it, and just like that, the boy who wasted 10 years was now helping others feel seen. This was when everything clicked. I realized if I want to keep growing, I have to protect my time like it's my last drop of water. So I built a new system for myself. Wake up by 5:45. Cold shower. 20 minutes reading. Books, not screens. 90-minute deep work session. No phone. Photography/editing/learning till lunch. Afternoon planning and outreach. 30 minutes of journaling in the evening. Sleep by 10. I became boring. No parties, no scrolling, no trends, no distractions. Just work, health, growth. Repeat. People started asking me, "Bro, how are you so focused now?" And I always smiled and said, "Because I know what it feels like to live without purpose. And I'm never going back there." At 31, I got offered $800 for a full-day shoot for a brand. They said, "We don't care about your resume. Your work speaks for itself." I stared at the email for 10 minutes, not because of the money, but because it was the first time someone valued my time. I did the shoot, gave it everything I had, delivered early, added more than what was expected. They referred me to 2 more clients. And just like that, I had a new rule for my life. Over-deliver, always. I was no longer the boy who wasted time. I was now a man who respected time because I had paid the price. Every rejection, every mistake, every lonely night, every lost opportunity, every second of regret. It all became fuel, not for revenge, not for fame, but for purpose. Years passed. I was 33 now. My photography page had grown to 100,000 quiet followers. I had clients, I had systems, I had structure, I had a clear head, I had peace. But most importantly, I had self-respect. The boy who used to sleep all day was now waking up at 5 a.m. by choice. The boy who avoided mirrors was now making people feel seen. The boy who lied to himself every night was now teaching others how to be brutally honest with themselves. But I was never proud, because I knew something. The success I had now was what I could have had at 23. If only I had respected time. That truth never stopped haunting me. Even at 33, even after rebuilding my life, even after escaping the trap of laziness. Because time may forgive your failure, but it never returns what it already took. One night I couldn't sleep. I opened my journal and wrote a letter, not to the world, not to my followers, but to the 20-year-old version of me. The boy who wasted time. The boy who had potential but no urgency. The boy who kept saying, later. Here's what I wrote. Dear younger me, I forgive you. You didn't know better. You thought comfort was harmless. You thought time would wait. You thought life would start on its own. You didn't understand that the biggest enemy of success isn't failure. It's silence. It's the empty days, the casual days, the days you don't remember, because you didn't live them. I forgive you for every morning you wasted, every idea you abandoned, every excuse you repeated until it became your personality. But now it's over. We're not wasting time anymore, because time doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't care how badly you want success. It only rewards those who act every single day, without noise, without attention, without apology. You don't need more motivation. You need more movement, more action, more repetition. And no matter how far you've fallen, you can come back. You can rebuild, but only if you stop delaying and start deciding. No more waiting, no more lies, no more comfort. Let's go. I closed the journal, and for the first time in my life, I felt free. Not because I had no regret, but because I was no longer wasting more time adding to it. Many people who used to laugh at me now ask for advice. The same classmates who once said, "Bro, you're still doing photography?" now say, "Can you help me build my brand?" And you know what? I help them. With no ego, no revenge, no attitude. Because I'm not trying to win anymore. I'm just trying to live with honor. To use every day I have left, wisely. To give value, to stay consistent, to make sure I never go back to who I used to be. And that's all the reward I need. Let me tell you something I know for sure. You don't change your life in one moment. You change it in the invisible hours, the boring mornings, the quiet nights, the days no one claps for you. Success is not in motivation. It's not in talent. It's not in genius. It's in momentum. Small wins repeated daily. Tiny actions, done without needing attention. Decisions you make when no one is watching. The world never sees those hours. But they're the only hours that matter. I'm 35 now, and there's still one truth that hurts. I'll never get those 10 years back. I'll never be 21 again. I'll never get those mornings again. I'll never get to restart from where I once stood. but I've accepted it. Because I finally understand this. You can't change the past, but you can punish it by building a future so powerful that even your past regrets stand in silence. That's what I've done. That's what I'll keep doing. Every day I wake up and ask myself, are you going to waste this day? Or are you going to use it to pay back the time you already lost? And I act. Even if it's hard, even if it's boring, even if I don't feel like it. Because now, I no longer work for money, followers, or fame. I work for redemption. If you're listening to this and you've wasted time, if you've delayed, escaped, failed, procrastinated, drifted, I want to say this to you, not as a motivational speaker, but as someone who lived that pain for a decade. It's not too late, but it is. Getting later. Every hour matters. Every decision matters. Every minute you give to scrolling, avoiding, doubting, is a minute you're stealing from your future self. And trust me, the future always arrives, and it always asks you one question. What did you do with your time? Have an answer. Start now. Start small. Start silently. But for God's sake, start. I wasted 10 years of my life. I threw away time like it was nothing, and time never forgave me. But I forgave myself, because I finally stopped waiting. I stopped dreaming. I stopped lying. I stopped planning, and I started building. So if this story touched you, don't let it be just another inspiring moment. Let it be your first second of a new life. Close this video. Turn off your phone. Grab a notebook. Write down what you need to do, then do it. Every day. Because in the end, time doesn't kill you. You kill yourself by wasting it. And if I can come back from 10 years of nothing, so can you. 5 lessons from the story. I wasted 10 years of my life, and time never forgave me. 1. Wasting time is the most expensive mistake you'll ever make. Ethan didn't lose money. He didn't lose opportunities. He lost something more dangerous. Time. Because time is not a resource. Time is your life. Once it's gone, nothing in this world can bring it back. Every day you delay, every hour you waste, every week you wait for motivation. You are silently destroying the future you could have had. 2. Comfort is the most addictive drug in the world. Ethan didn't fail because he wasn't smart. He failed because he got comfortable. Comfort looks innocent, but it steals your ambition in silence. It keeps you distracted, entertained, and lazy, while your future is burning behind you. If your life feels okay, but nothing is growing, you're not safe. You're stuck. 3. Nobody will save you. You must save yourself. For 10 years, Ethan waited for a miracle. He thought something would happen, but nothing happened. Until he happened. Not his friends, not his parents, not a lucky break. He became his own rescue mission. That's the truth. Nobody is coming to push you. You have to decide that your life matters, and prove it with action. 4. You don't need a perfect plan. You need movement. Ethan thought he needed to feel ready. He kept planning, thinking, dreaming. But nothing changed until he said, I don't need more plans. I need more action. Your life won't change when your idea is perfect. It will change the day you finally stop waiting and start moving. Messy, broken, scared, but moving. 5. You can rebuild. But every day you wait adds to the debt. The most powerful part of Ethan's story is not that he succeeded. It's that he started again with nothing. No support, no confidence, no certainty. And he rebuilt everything. With small habits, deep discipline, and brutal honesty. But even though he rebuilt, He could never get back the time he lost. So if you're wasting time today thinking you'll start later, understand this. Yes, you can rebuild, but the longer you wait, the more time you'll have to pay back. With pain, guilt, regret, and missed chances. Start now. You've just heard the story of a man who lost 10 years of his life because he believed he had time. He thought success would arrive when he felt ready. He thought motivation would one day knock on his door. He thought life would wait. But it didn't. Because time never waits. Time is not on your side. Time is not your friend. Time is not kind. Time is like fire. It will burn what you don't build. It will destroy what you ignore. It will punish what you waste. And by the time you wake up, the damage may already be done. But if this story hit you, if something inside you just woke up, then don't sit with that feeling. Use it. Right now, close this video. Write down one thing you've been avoiding. One project, one dream, one habit. Then do it. For 10 minutes. Start small. Start scared. But start. Because the clock isn't ticking. It's screaming. And the most painful words you can ever say one day are the same words Ethan had to live with. I could have been more. If only I had started sooner. So start now. Start with pain in your chest. Start with fear in your head. Start with tears in your eyes. But for God's sake, start, because this is not a story about Ethan. This is a warning for you. Time doesn't forgive. But if you act now, you won't need its forgiveness. You'll earn its respect. And maybe one day, you'll look back and say, that was the day I stopped wasting my life. That was the day I chose to begin.